What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Ben Johnson, and today I'm super excited because we're going to be taking a look at music licensing. Whether you are a filmmaker, a YouTuber, streamer, vlogger, freelancer, wedding cinematographer, it doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to run into an issue where you need to legally license music for your films. Perhaps you've done the old trick of going to YouTube and searching copyright-free music, and maybe you found a couple channels that offer this. While this is an okay solution, it's not necessarily a long-term solution because eventually what you'll find is that it takes a lot of time to sift through those playlists, and it takes a lot of time to find that perfect track when there's actually some easier ways that are available to you. That's why today I want to share with you 6 of my favorite music licensing sites. Now, before we dive into that, let's first establish what we should be looking for as a creator searching for a music licensing platform. The couple of things that I look at are quality, quantity, usability, and price. Let me explain. Quality. I want these tracks to be fire. They need to be awesome. I spend so much time perfecting my craft as a filmmaker and investing into high quality gear. I don't want my project to flop because of a less than song. Quantity. When I approach these music licensing sites, I'm really looking for something that has a vast catalog, that has a ton of options for me that are all really good, because I don't want to spend time sifting through some okay songs to find that one good song. I want them all to be great. Usability. When it comes to post-production work and editing, one of the things that can really hold you up and take a long amount of time is finding that perfect song. So one of the things I look at in these music licensing sites is, how do I filter through everything? How do I navigate the site? Can I easily find what I'm looking for? Price. And of course, one of the main key factors to consider is price. How much is it going to cost? What is the investment? Okay, so now that we know a little bit about what to look for in a music licensing platform, let's go ahead and take a look at a few of my favorites. Epidemic Sound. If you've been watching filmmaking YouTube channels for any amount of time, you've probably heard somebody mention Epidemic Sound, and for good reason. Let's go ahead and take a look at the quality, quantity, usability, and price of Epidemic Sound. When it comes to Epidemic Sound, I would say personally that their tracks are pretty great. There's definitely a range though. So while there are some really nice tracks, there's also some that are so-so. Quantity. I would say that there's a decent amount of tracks. Overall, no real complaint here. Usability is one of the things that I did not love about the Epidemic Sound experience. For the user, myself, a creative who's looking for a track, when I go to their website, I'm greeted by a ton of curated playlists. Some people may see this as a pro, and while I think that is really good to have these curated playlists, one of the things I was noticing that was kind of lacking was the ability to search the entire catalog and filter through it all, rather than just going to specific playlists and genres that the staff has curated. Price. If you are a YouTuber, the price is great because it's only $15 a month and you'll have unlimited songs for all of your YouTube videos every single month. However, if you're a YouTuber and you also do freelance work, the price is going to jump up a bit. You're going to need tracks that are going to cover beyond just the YouTube licensing. So instead of just $15 a month, it's going to instantly go to $50 a month, which is a pretty significant jump. All in all, just something to consider. What are you going to be using these tracks for? And is that going to fit with the budget that you have for music? So let's talk about MusicBed. In my opinion, it has probably the highest quality and most advanced, vast catalog out of all of the options, but it does come at a price. Back in the day when I was first starting out and I was doing wedding films and some freelance projects, I was looking for music licensing sites, and this idea of a subscription plan didn't really exist. It was definitely more of a pay per song and license as you go. So if I remember correctly, for my wedding films, I was paying probably I think it was $50 a song, plus an additional $25 to get the instrumental version of it. And for most of my wedding films, I would have 2 songs, each with their own instrumental version. So I was spending about $150 in music licensing per wedding film. And you can do the math. If you do 30 wedding films in a year, it gets pretty pricey. You're spending over $4,000 just on music licensing within a year. And this is exactly what I was doing. With the rise of some of these music subscription services, MusicBed has actually stepped up their game and started offering music licensing subscription plans as well. So let's take a look at that. Quality. I would rate MusicBed the highest quality out of all of the options in my opinion. I just think that there's a lot of character and just organic feeling music that they have on their platform that really puts it a step above some of the others. I would also rate MusicBed as having the highest quantity out of all the options just because they have a wide range of some artists that you may know and some that you may definitely not know. But all in all, it's very well curated and there's a lot of good options for you to choose. Usability. The filtering option in MusicBed was one of my first encounters with an experience like that, and it still holds true today that it is very good, very easy to find what you need. All in all, I would give that 2 thumbs up. Price. Now, price is definitely the thing that's going to get you when it comes to MusicBed. I absolutely love that they offer a subscription plan. It's all in all a lot cheaper than it used to be, but it is still very steep compared to some of the existing competition out there. Let's go back to the wedding film example where I was spending over $4,000 a year. Now they actually have a wedding cinematography package where you can only pay $60 a month and have unlimited access to their library for wedding films, which is pretty awesome. However, if you're like me and you do something beyond just that, if you're going to do freelancing, which is ultimately what I'm going to be kind of pricing this at, not just YouTube, not just weddings, but freelancing, so you're kind of covered for the majority of projects that most of you guys may encounter, that's going to run you $90 a month. So all in all, I do think it's a reasonable price. I think that if you're freelancing, you should be able to be charging enough to cover that for sure. All in all though, MusicBed is definitely a solid choice. Artlist is an awesome little music licensing site that I came across. It's probably one of the lesser known options, but that doesn't make it less than. Let's go ahead and check it out. Quality. In my opinion, the quality of the tracks on Artlist are good. I just personally found myself not typically picking their songs for my own projects. When I was testing it out, I had subscription plans to a couple of these different sites, and I would listen pretty intensely to a lot of the tracks on Artlist, and a lot of times I would just opt to go for something on a different site. It doesn't mean that their tracks are not good. It just means that it didn't fit my style as much as I wanted it to. Quantity. I would say that they have a decent amount of quantity. I wouldn't say it's the biggest library of all of them, but it's a decent amount for what you pay for. The usability as well is about as good as any of the other ones. You have some nice filtering options. You can choose genre, instruments, all of that stuff. So it's pretty good. I like it. Price is definitely one of the best parts about Artlist, as it comes in at only $16 a month. And that is beyond just using it for YouTube videos. You can use this on freelance projects as well, which is huge. When you compare this to something like MusicBed, it's a night and day price difference, and it may just be enough to want to go this route instead. It's definitely going to be great too if you're someone who's newer into the freelancing arena. Maybe you're not as established, you don't have as much income coming in every month. This is a lot easier of an option to get some high quality tracks for your projects and have it all legally licensed. So Premium Beat is honestly one of my first experiences with licensing music for projects. With that being said, let's take a look at why Premium Beat is still a relevant option today. When it comes to Premium Beat, I would say that they do have some quality tracks, specifically if you're working in the corporate side of things. I find a lot of their tracks to be very well suited for corporate videos. Definitely not as indie or as organic and sort of the character that MusicBed may have. Premium Beat is just very polished, it's very clean, and it works really well for corporate videos in my opinion. Quantity, I would say they have it, but as far as quantity, not as much in my opinion. I found maybe 20 to 30 songs that I really loved on Premium Beat, and beyond that there wasn't a ton. Now again, I haven't been actively using it, So feel free to check it out. But for me, I would say quality is meh, it's okay. The usability and filtering tools on Premium Beat are pretty standard, pretty decent. It works. It gets the job done. As mentioned before, price is where it gets interesting because this is not going to be one of those subscription plans. This is going to be very much more geared towards the freelance videographer. If you are a YouTuber, I wouldn't consider Premium Beat as your main source of music because if you're doing, say, 4 videos a month, then that's going to be $50 a video. That's $200 a month. That's more than the freelancing option on MusicBed. So in my opinion, I wouldn't go that route. But if you're a freelancer and you want to incorporate the cost of the music into your rates and kind of account for it, and you want to find some good corporate tracks, Premium Beat could be a great option for you to legally license a song for your project. So I've tried a bunch of these sites and eventually I came across a website called Soundstripe and it was super intriguing to me. After trying it for a bit, I can honestly say that I literally love it and it is awesome. First off, let's talk about price. I pay $11 a month to be able to use this not just on my YouTube videos, but on my wedding videos, my freelance projects, all of it. The tracks on this site are fire. They have a bunch of really good ones. I've absolutely loved it. We've been using it exclusively for the past couple of years just because it has been really, really nice and really suited to my editing style. So they don't just have a couple of fire tracks, they have a lot of them. There's a couple playlists that have been curated on the site that I truly, really love. And you can actually choose to follow playlists, so you always get updated when stuff is added to it. One of the cool things about Soundstripe is that the existing library is jam-packed full of some great stuff, but it's always expanding. They're adding new stuff every month, every week, and it's awesome. I love the usability tools. It actually takes it a step further beyond just the genre, mood, instrumentation, artist, lyric or not. They've actually added stuff like the key, so you can actually search what key the song is in, which is useful if you're someone who's a little more musically inclined. One of the things I really like is the customer support. I've been using it for a while and I get emails all the time asking me, how can we improve? And that's huge for a company to do that because they're literally gauging their customer experience, and I'm actually able to give input and I notice changes on the site. It's really cool. Price. As mentioned before, this comes in at $11 a month, which is the cheapest of all of the options that we're talking about today. And not only is it covering YouTube at that price, but it's covering wedding films, it's covering freelance projects, and you get unlimited access to their whole library. That's pretty crazy. Literally, you're paying like $130 a year. So when you compare that to the $90 a month for MusicBed, it's definitely a pretty steep difference. And if you guys go check out Soundstripe, most of the time they're running little promotions like try out 3 songs for free. So I would go ahead and say, why not? Just go try it. It's free. And if you guys end up actually wanting to move forward with using them as a music licensing option, you can use code CREATIVE at checkout to save yourself 10% off of the already super cheap price. All in all, Soundstripe is 2 thumbs up.
Here we go now.
Firefly was originally known as Song Freedom, and it is sort of known in the music licensing scene as being the option for mainstream music quality. This is a tricky one because while the mainstream music on the site is of course quality, the other music on the site that you're paying the $200 a year for is it's okay. Quantity. This is also a little bit of a tricky one because while there is mainstream music on the site, which is awesome, there's not like a ton of it. So it's cool that you can get it, but it's not like every single song you could ever want for that's being played on the radio. Usability. The filter tools on the site are decent, but ultimately they're a little bit limited. Price, in my opinion, is definitely aggressive because it's only $200 a year and you get access to all of their kind of so-so songs, but you get the ability to use some of those mainstream songs, which in the traditional sense could cost crazy amounts of money. So ultimately it is a very cool option to have in your back pocket when it comes to, wanting to have something that's more well-known, or maybe a client's demanding a more popular type song. You could check there and see if they have it or offer one of the songs they do have as an alternative and explain why. The real drawback here to consider when it comes to Song Freedom / Firefly, whatever you want to call it, is that the license for the mainstream music is really going to only cover weddings and life events. So I do not believe it's going to cover YouTube, and I do not believe it's going to cover freelance projects. But all in all, it's a good resource to have. It may just not be suited for every project. All right, I know I said that I was going to do 6, but I'm actually going to throw in a 7th one as a little bonus, which is something that I've come across recently known as Audio. Audio is new to the game, and because of that, they're coming out super aggressive with some of the price plans that they have, and it's super intriguing to me. So let's take a look at it. Quality. So far, there definitely seems to be some fire tracks. I'll give it that. Not every track is, but so far there's some good options. Quantity. This is definitely where the site currently lacks overall, but I'm giving a little bit of wiggle room because they are new with plans to grow. So I would like to hopefully see the library expand over time. Usability. Usability, filtering options, navigation seems to be on par with the competition. Price. Price is where Audio gets interesting, and ultimately why I considered bringing it up as an option on this video, because they have a $150 annual plan, which will give you unlimited access to their music, but they also have a lifetime plan. It may be a worthwhile investment. It's a little bit of a gamble because the site could flop, but on the other side, it may be very good, it may do very well, and you could invest early on and have that lifetime membership. So something to consider when it comes to music licensing platforms. So in conclusion, when I was kind of in the beginning testing the waters of all of these music licensing sites, I had licensed some stuff with MusicBed and Premium Beat. I had a subscription to Artlist, Epidemic Sound, and Soundstripe. And I had done a couple of things with Song Freedom as well. And all in all, in my opinion, my top 2 favorites are MusicBed and Soundstripe. MusicBed because of the quality and the vast catalogs. It's super, super awesome. And Soundstripe because it is also very, very awesome and way less expensive. I've just been so satisfied with my Soundstripe subscription that I currently am pretty much only using that. I figured I would just save myself $950 a year. With that said, I'd highly encourage you guys to check out Soundstripe. Try the little trial songs if they're rocking it. And if you guys choose to go that route, make sure you use code CREATIVE to save yourself 10% at checkout. All right, guys, that's going to about wrap up this video. I hope that you've enjoyed getting to learn a little bit about music licensing, how it works, where to look for it, and what to look for. Before you guys leave, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and as always, stay creative. Peace.